realized New York was a cesspit filled with the viscera of broken dreams, I decided that the time had come for me to move to beautiful, sunny Los Angeles. When I arrived in LA and realized that it was creatively dead, had a withered husk for a soul, and considered ombre the height of culture, I took the first plane back to New York. Of course, my plane landed in a sea of overstressed, overworked rat kings, fornicating with cockroaches and 3 of my exes. So I bought a used Prius and drove across country straight to LA because in LA, people go on hikes. On my first hike in LA, I had to talk to somebody who'd never read Joan Didion and who'd, get this, had plastic surgery. Before he could say juice cleanse, I had ridden a fixed-gear bicycle right back to the Big Apple. My bike wouldn't fit into my 2-inch wide urine-soaked apartment in Sunset Park, so I found someone to take over my lease, and I rode a Segway all the way to Hollywood, eating local fruits and reciting positive affirmations as I rolled merrily along. At my first party in Los Angeles, I heard the word agent more than 15,000 times. I tried to keep a tally, but my fingers started bleeding, so I stopped. People went on generals and never returned. I knew I needed to get back to where the real people were, the people with substance and letters who understood the struggle. So I took the secret subway train that goes from LA to New York. It was okay until 3:30 p.m. when a gang of youths attacked me emotionally. Somehow I arrived in one piece, but it was the middle of winter, so I sat alone in my apartment until spring. During that time, my hair fell out and my skin fell off. I hitchhiked back to LA at the first opportunity. When I arrived, the people were sun-kissed and the rampant depression was barely noticeable compared to with New York. You can hide all manner of mental illness with a solid tan and veneers. I hopped into my car, got on the 405, and headed to the beach. I was stuck in traffic for 6 years. By the time I got back to New York, I was very old. I was 27. I was too old for the constant partying I assumed people did. I was too old to keep pretending I'd read all the articles and listened to all the bands. Pretending to like things was a young person's game. I just needed a change. And LA, City of Vapid Angels, provided that change. No one cared if I'd read anything or listened to anything, or whether I had eyes or ears, as long as I didn't get the part of surprise waitress number 2 over them. Everything was fine until the yoga made my bones dissolve. Skinless and boneless, I jiggled back to New York, but everyone kept making me feel so ashamed of my blob. I threw on my comfiest sweatpants, poured what was left of me into a Vitamix, and shipped myself back to LA. Halfway between New York and LA, I imploded. And I have never been happier.